New episode of the Touch and Go podcast. Well, Type 1 Lifting podcast with the Touch and Go team. I have on the left Xander Falix, and then I have on the bottom Hannah Hardy, and I'm Tom Lennon. What's going on, guys?
Doing great.
Yeah. So, how was Portland? So we were in Portland
awesome.
for.
Yeah, I went up to Portland, what was it, Thursday before camp in August, and then stayed at the world's worst Airbnb for Wi-Fi, so I had to miss the podcast that was right there. So that wasn't great, but it was camp was a great time as always. I'm really excited for when the next dates get dropped, whenever those are coming out. Just hanging out with Shep, Justin. We clearly all missed Hannah. That was a big thing. It was funny meeting Andrew and being they just kept talking about you at summer camp 19, and I was like, who the hell is this guy? And then I met you and I was like, yeah, no, this tracks. Because Andrew was awesome, because it was me, Andrew, and Shep. We shared an Airbnb, and then it was probably one of our smaller ones that we ever had, but it was really cool, and the only word I can think of is intimate, even though it wasn't really that. But it was just cool because we all were able to go out to dinner every night almost with everybody and had a good time and learned a lot. So that was really fun.
And also, why aren't you wearing that pink shirt with the Mint logo on it?
Fine, I'll go change.
Hey, he wears the gym shirt, and then you're like, nope, only the splatter paint.
Yep. Which I love that shirt, by the way. So, anyway, he's changing. So, Hannah, how was your week so far? Well, a couple weeks.
Well, it's been good. I've been on the go. So, just because it's off season, I've been actually putting my education first. So, dry needling certified. Got to go to Charlotte for a little bit and hang out with my friends there. Pretty much same old. I'm back to some lower body movement, and I'm actually I haven't lost that much strength than I thought I would. So I'm kind of excited to see what else is in the tank once I'm actually clear, full on cleared to train how I want.
Mm-hmm. Now, how much time did you take off? I know you hurt your ankle a while back. So how much more time do you think you have left?
At least to heal from the injury, I don't even know. I thought it was gonna be healed and probably by the end of August, actually start squatting again, stuff like that. It's taken the bone a while to heal, so it probably won't be until towards maybe the last 2 months of the year, but that could also be pushing it. So, I'm just getting swole and can't complain about that. My arm,
just doing weird inverted shoulder taps on Instagram. It's fine.
Exactly. You should see what other stuff I do at the gym. People think it's crazy. I bust out blood flow restriction cuffs and die doing just banded hamstring curls. People are like, why are you dying? I'm like, you don't understand.
Have you guys never seen the hamstring machine at your Glovo gym that you ignore? Yeah, this is why.
Yeah. No, I use that. I use my apartment gym, and I use those machines almost daily. And it's been awesome. So, I'm still getting stronger, so can't complain about that.
That's good. So are you officially out of Grid League this year, or?
So my team is out. We suffered a lot of injuries on the team, so it ended up that it just got to the point where, we just didn't have the roster to help back it up. So we're just watching the playoffs go. I don't know who's in the all-star match from the team yet, but still to be determined on next year and stuff like that. But since I'm not going to be in Florida, I don't know how peaceful it's going to be.
Okay. So, my week's been okay. So I just been working a lot, just kind of get distracted and stuff. And my son decided he wanted to start playing golf.
Yes.
Yes.
My 7-year-old.
Get him the U.S. kids golf club collection.
So,
please tell me you did this.
No, we got him Nike golf clubs for $75 on
they
Marketplace.
Don't even make. It's fair, but they don't even make clubs anymore. That's why it was 70% off.
So.
Okay.
They're still golf clubs.
Yeah, he literally he's been this is his third day today, actually golfing. So we've been going on the driving range, like hitting the golf clubs, and he's like, I like putting. And I'm like, okay. And like me having touched I haven't touched a golf club in, gosh, probably like 4 or 5 years. And I Happy Gilmore that shit all the time. Take one step and just crank it. And I always shank it to the right, always. So I kind of I angle off to the left a little bit so I can actually try to get straight. So I don't know. It's a work in progress. I guess I have to really start getting better at it because he's really taken a liking to it. He wants to watch it. So I'm like,
Good for him. Like,
yeah,
he's got the Live Tour, he's got the PGA, he's got the British Tour. Man.
No,
Good
you
for
need
him.
to get on those Masters tickets.
yeah.
Oh, no, that's for next year already because I already went into that lottery and lost. So
Yeah, no. But you have to gear
2023,
up
baby.
No, you have to gear up for the lottery to come out, and then hopefully you get a ticket.
As a Detroit Lions fan, and really this goes for most like terrible sports franchises, it's like just be ready to get hurt again.
And I've been trying to watch. I actually tried to watch the Patriots play this weekend, and I couldn't do it. I couldn't get so we have an Amazon Fire like TV, so we don't have a cable provider at all. So I'm like literally like rummaging around through all these like sites, and they're like, "Oh, what's your TV provider?" And I'm like, "Damn it, I don't have one." And so he's getting all like my son like wants to watch it, and he gets all bent out of shape and stuff, and he's like, "I want to watch the game," and I'm like, all right. And then he's like, no, let's go golfing. And I'm like, okay, we're probably better off because I know they're going to probably lose in Miami because they typically do. So,
Yeah, when I saw that was the team they were playing week one, and it's like, yeah, no, this like the Dolphins are gonna win. Like, here's overreactions. Like, oh, the Dolphins are back. I'm like, no, they're not. They just
Oh.
strategically can always play the Pats. And this Mike McDaniel, right? Or is it McDaniels? He's like the goofy little like twin of the Raiders' old offensive coordinator. You're like,
yep.
no, this like little Smurfette is not going to be doing very well come week 17.
No, no, not at all. Not at all. But at least I'm not Notre Dame. So,
I hate you so much.
my
I hate you
goodness.
so much.
Dude, that was
I hate
nuts
you.
watching that game. I mean,
Bro, the Thundering fucking Herd? Are we serious? The Thundering Herd of Marshall? Like, goodness gracious, like, we're like at like DEFCON 4, like Nebraska's just on life alert at this point. But like, we are just like not doing great. We are 3 games into Coach Marcus's like reign, and we are 0-3. I do give away the bowl game because that we were never going to win that to begin with. But like losing to Marshall, like the Ohio State game was close.
yeah.
Like the score didn't really reflect the play, but it was like no, like we were so bad. We are so bad.
Hey, it's all good. But anyway, your shirt, the pink and mint Misfit shirt.
Misfit
So,
drip collection that's coming out. I don't know when, and I really actually have no dates on this, but I'm assuming soon.
so are there shorts involved too, or just the shirts?
So I believe we are doing sweatbands and shirts for this collection. So we have this one. We have a women's crop top. No, a women's tank that's mint color with pink logo, and then I think we're doing a gray T-shirt with purple drip.
Yeah, I saw that.
I think we're also doing a women's version of that somehow.
Okay. All
I
right.
don't-
Yeah, you could use code Hannah. Oh, wait, no, never mind.
Yeah, it's code Xander. So Hannah's got tier money now,
man.
guys. Hannah's
Oh,
got tier
man.
money now. She like is like, no,
I have
We're
literally
done
no
here.
money whatsoever. So if you want to donate
I'm just
to
glad it
Big
wasn't
Hannah
me.
Hardy, please let me know.
Please Venmo at Hannah-Hardy on Venmo.
Find me on Zelle. Find me on
Like
Instagram.
Cash App, Instagram, like PayPal. Honestly, at this point, just LimeWire, any type of funding.
Seriously.
Yeah, pretty much. So let's get to the news. I mean, we could banter the whole hour. So so the new HWPO team is out, which is
Oh, daddy.
looking very good. I mean, Amanda Barnhart, Samuel
Katrin.
Quant, Katrin Davis' daughter, Mal O'Brien, Jason Hopper, and there's like other HWPO athletes too. But like, what do you guys think of this whole lineup?
I think it's cool, right? Like it's great because like, okay, these people are looking to make some switches, blah blah blah. I think it's okay, this is me being really mean here, but it's like, are these guys on the climb up that just came onto the project, or are these guys like just trying to like they're on their way down and just collecting the paycheck? Like I'm not like, and that makes it sound worse than it is, but it's like this is a great opportunity for athletes to get paid their relative worth. If you're going to bring eyeballs or bring in athletes that are just going to start paying your monthly subscription for your product or for your programming, it's a great thing. Do I think it's a little sus that one of the coaches was for a different program and then went over to HWPO and then somehow like finagled like a couple other athletes that he may have worked with? Potentially, but it's pretty great for him. I don't like see it as a bad thing. I think it's a great thing for athletes across the spectrum. Like hopefully more athletes will start getting paid.
Yeah.
No, I totally agree. I mean, I think finally there I mean, like Xander said, like they're actually going to be professional athletes paid like appropriately by their program. And I mean, in the end, I mean, I I do think a lot of the draw is from Harry. I mean, I know he's a fantastic coach. So the fact that, everybody's coming from Comptrain to HWPO just when Harry joins, I mean, you could see those dots connect. So, but like that's like one of those things where if that works for the athletes, like I felt bad when Amanda like lost Harry when he left Comptrain. So the fact that like she gets to work with him again, I think it's awesome. And then I really do think it's cool that Katrin gets to go work now, like be back with Matt too. Like I think it's gonna be super cool to see. I thought there was like a lot of females that were added to the roster. Granted,
Mhm.
I don't know if they're gonna move to Vermont per se, but like we always saw, I mean, we see that camps do well when there's maybe like one guy or one girl or two guys, two girls. But I don't know how it's going to be now having these super big names be together. I know Amanda's probably not moving to Vermont, but I mean, I don't know what Katrin's going to do. At least Jason and Sam are pretty separate, so they won't really train together much. So, I mean, if it's a good environment, that's awesome. But there could be like a slippery slope there, kind of when everybody came to Comptrain too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think I remember hearing that on I think the Savon, Josh, and Matt podcast that Matt said that when Mal came on board that like she specifically made it clear that like Matt's not coaching any other female whatsoever, but he actually kind of does have a say in coaching, Amanda Barnhart a little bit because Harry, like actually he's her coach, but he may put some things in there involved, and I don't know if that's gonna create a little tension between Mal and Amanda, which I don't think so because she's staying in Ohio. Amanda's staying in Ohio. It's not like she's going to Vermont, and then I don't think. I mean, I think it'd be pretty cool if Samuel Quant and Jason Hopper, stayed pretty close to each other, but Samuel lives in Washington, but
And Jason's where like Carolina's like I just
Mhm.
don't
South
like
Carolina.
Yeah.
I think people are assuming this is going to be more of the training camp vibe, and I think it's really no, these are just athletes following the program because I don't think Sam's going to move across the country again because he went to Boston, went home to move back to Vermont doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
Yeah.
And then Jason like only went up there for like a training camp. It always seemed like, and it just like I'm like I'm my biggest question is Katrin moving back to the U.S. or is she going to stay in Iceland?
I don't know if they're like engaged or anything like that, but I know he has a house in Idaho. Idaho.
Brooks.
Yeah, Brooks.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I know he has a house in Idaho, so I don't know if they're going to stay there or whatnot. I mean,
I don't know. I mean, like I don't think it's gonna be the training camp vibe, but maybe because everybody's kind of everywhere, it's gonna be fine.
mhm.
And then every so often they have the training camp style. Because I think like pretty much all of them are homebodies. Like I know Jason and Sam are. I know Amanda wants to go back home. So, like it could actually work out because they're not all gonna be there with
Yeah.
Mal.
And I
Well, and you got Jake Marconi there too, so that's another thing. Like he's another coach slash athlete. And he's living up in Vermont.
Is he, or is he still living in Providence running that gym?
No, he's up in Vermont
Oh,
from what I know. So
okay.
because I interviewed him, I think it was like last year,
Yeah.
and he said he was looking to move up and get like bring his like rinkety old pickup truck and just get a place there. But I don't know if he's still running anything down in Rhode Island.
Yeah. I thought he was, but I could be mistaken. But like, it's good for them. Like, I just don't like. I think it's gonna be cooler to see it Rogue because what is it? Amanda, I think, has an invite.
Hmm.
Sam's going obviously because he was top 10. Like, we'll get into that later, but it's gonna be fun to see like all this stuff. Like, everybody's just like the high school cliques are just like, you can't sit with me because I'm not wearing pink on Wednesday.
Yeah, yeah. So speaking about Comptrain, so what is going on over there?
I it like depends. Like, I think they're still running a good shop. Like, I was just there. Like, I can't really just like, I was with Chandler and Ben and Jarrett. Like, it was great. Like, it seemed like it's very off-season stuff. Like, if you're switching a program, if you're moving home, if you're this like if in the CrossFit space, like, this is our summer break. Like, the fall season is really like, unless you're gearing up for Rogue, which is only taking the top 20 athletes and or top 15 and then adding 5, it's a perfect time to go home. And like, it people are training there. Like, Chandler and I worked out. Like, it's just very normal. Like, do I think they're probably like, well, this is weird. Like, you were just with us and Harry left a year ago and then you left and then now you're switching over to where, like, is that maybe going on? Maybe, but it's just one of those like things where I feel like I think we're starting to see the sport grow up
Hmm.
and just like we're finally dwindling out of like, I want to say we're probably more adolescents at this point. Like, we're going to those teenage years of like that weird, like, how do things work and we're figuring it out kind of vibe. But it's just like this, it's having been there before all this came out, it was like, this seems odd now looking back.
Mhm.
Hannah, what you got?
Um, man, I mean, I don't think this is the end of Comptrain whatsoever. I mean,
No, no.
I just think it's like, like there's so many more athletes. There's still athletes there. I know a few people that are working with Comptrain, are super excited to work with Comptrain at the highest level. I mean, to be determined whether they like actually move up to Boston or not, but like they're still a reputable program. And I mean, that's like the whole thing there. So, like, so what that they don't have like everybody left. I mean, Comptrain, to be honest, Ben probably sees this of, oh, okay, we get to start a new era of Comptrain. I mean,
Mhm.
that's, typical Ben Bergeron fashion. So, this isn't the end. It's just, a little blip on the radar.
Yeah, I knew, and my whole thing was I remember they were doing that whole training camp thing in I think in Natick for that CrossFit Tilt, I think wherever like they do the main. Is it CrossFit Tilt?
Yeah, I think they're separate gyms.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's two separate gyms. I
Yeah.
think, yeah, and I know he was having a training camp, so I don't know if they even have. I mean, I know they have Chandler and they have another female athlete. I
Yeah,
don't
they
know
have
if.
Chandler, Sydney Michelob Ultra, which you'll hear this, and I'm not sorry for ruining your last name. It's just way more funny to me because I can call you
Oh,
Sydney Labatt Blue or it's Sydney Michelation. Like, I know
yeah.
how her name is like pronounced. I just find it more fun to use like Labatt Blue Lime. Like, it's way more fun. But like, I think like they have great talent there. They have Sydney, they have Chan, they got um, is it Emma Gardner?
Yeah.
Yeah, the teen who's like aging, like working on growing back into semis. But it's like they're not hurting for talent. I think they're gonna like, again, like, the big orange machine moves on.
Yeah, do you think any big player in the CrossFit space is going to move over to Comptrain at all, or do you think they're going to be like wait another year, then maybe have someone come in?
Uh, Probably. Like, I they like, the thing is, it's like, who, like, right? Like, I feel like you're gonna like it would be somebody switching from like Mayhem to them, or somebody left TTT or Invictus. And but I don't like, my thing is, it's like, are these people really? I think we've learned that like moving and putting everybody together is not like the ideal like thing. Like I don't like because people have their family and their roots and they like miss those things. Like you're not going to just move all the way like halfway across the country to like just be training unless like you're really at a top tier level. And I don't see like I can't like thinking top 10 like if I even went and pulled up a leaderboard like I doubt everybody like Ricky Garard's underdog like
Mhm.
those kinds of things. It's just trying to remember those like folk and it's just like Laura's not leaving. No, Danielle's clearly in South Florida. Brooke is clearly proven. Emma Lawson, Cara Saunders, Haley Adams. Like,
Again, like I just think it's one of those things where it's like, okay, maybe for a few years. I mean, like we said, there's already names there, but like every few years, the athletes kind of see where they are and see whether or not they have to change programs or not. And that could be a point where someone's going to hit that 3-year mark and say, "Hey, I do need a change." And then consider a Comptrain. It's kind of just like, okay, now you're just going to drop into all the camps and see which one you like the most. And if they want to move, they'll move. If they want to stay by family, well, they'll just go up every so often. So, I don't know like if there's like anybody in particular per se right now, but I mean, I bet in a few years there's still going to be like a huge name, and Ben's going to be there coaching somebody.
Hmm. Yeah, I agree. So speaking about change, so Xander, you were pretty much hanging out with Chandler the whole time. So do you think like after this year or something like that, he may switch, or do you think because like for me watching the video, the Buttery Bros video, when Ben talked to him and said, "Hey, just try to do the best and push through," and like helped him out with his like mind like mindset a little bit. I think he may stay a little bit longer than he thought he was going to.
yeah, like I haven't really heard like what he wants to do. Like, there's also like me being like really close friends with him. Like, there's that, and then there's also like his wife Jessie also has a job there. Like,
Hmm.
I maybe like there's probably like some kind of tie. Like, they got engaged there, they got married there. Like, do they want to set up a home life there? They could. Like, so it's just more like, is there a couple things out there with it? Yeah. Like, I just for me, it's just like I think we're finally like couldn't tell you if he's going one way or the other. He's always going to play those things closer to the chest. Like the funny part is like we talked about the documentary, like the Buttery Bros released. Me, like nor him have actually watched it. I know he does have the Buttery Bros. Whoever shot it, I know like took the Teddy Roosevelt man in the arena quote and like took the picture of Chandler on the bench like from there, and it's in his house, and it's actually a really cool photo. But it's just like I couldn't tell you if he's staying one way or the other. Like it seems like it's a good fit for now. Like I don't see why it wouldn't be.
Hmm. Okay. Okay. So we have a couple other people that have, well, and another person that left a big camp. So Gabriella Magawa left the program. Um,
It sounds like somebody just got released from rehab. Anybody talks about the
yeah.
program.
So she finished her 12 steps and no, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. So I've heard it was mutual. So it wasn't like, pretty much it wasn't like, she wanted out or he thought that like, they weren't a good fit. But I mean, she's done really well in the CrossFit Games. And I think he even said like he may not have the next step to maybe push her over the edge.
Yeah. Gabby's been there, what is it, 2 or 3 times now to the games?
Hmm.
So it's just like I think it's good. It's just like I feel like it's even harder to get a pulse on the program because it's like BKG by himself, Gabby was by herself, Katrin, or I'm sorry, Annie has her coach, and Katrin was there for a year. It's like, is it me or does it like seem like the program's like this big, like secret, massive organization that nobody knows? Like it's kind of like the CIA of
Yeah,
CrossFit.
it's all in Europe. Like a lot of like the
Yeah.
American things, like we don't see much except for like Craig Ritchie, vlogs when he's
Yeah,
over there. And that's it.
yeah. Like that's about it. And Craig's much more into weightlifting these days, which 10 out of 10, great videos that he's posting. But
Hmm.
like he's clearly not as like focused on the CrossFit side.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think it's just with us. I mean, like you said, like we don't see like the European view. I mean, we have our training camps here, and what's popular in Europe is completely different. And there's barely anybody that I know of that says, "Hey, I'm going to follow this like European training program," or "Have you kept up with this European training camp?" It's like, no, we're here.
Yeah.
So,
It's like
um,
I don't speak Icelandic bird. Like I'm sorry, I can't communicate with you guys.
right. So it's I mean, I think it's exciting for Gabby. And the fact that her coach like also just sees what potential she has and says like, like I might not be the best fit anymore. I mean, they've been together for quite some time. So the fact that it's like, okay, she's learned what she needs to learn here and now she's going on to the next camp. That's like such a great mindset to have as a coach. So man, I have no clue where Gabby's gonna go. I saw her do a workout Laura did because Gabby dates Laura's brother. But I don't know if necessarily she'll go to Krypton. But I think she's just having fun right now.
Yeah.
But that'd be a really cool kind of like thing to go together, like her and Laura training together a ton.
Yeah. So did he leave too, Christoph? Did he leave for the program too as well?
I think so.
So it was both of them at the same time?
Mhm.
Okay. Yeah. So any
Couples, man.
Yeah, I
Couples.
know. I know. Happy wife, happy life.
Ha- Something about an admirable girlfriend make her admirable. Or yeah, words.
So do you think they might go to Mayhem or like any other? I don't know. I mean,
They're
where
gonna
do you,
go somewhere else.
yeah. Well, where do you think? Let's like just take a
Um,
wild guess.
I like you got to keep it close to home because it always seemed like is it Christoph? Is that how it like you
Yeah,
pronounce his
that's
name?
his name.
Christoph Horvat. I like it. You'd be hard pressed to think like he doesn't join like Ben Smith and like do something with them, right? Like
Mhm.
to be like a little bit because it always seemed like him and his sister were super tight. So that's always been a big thing. Like it's probably more like yeah, like that would like again like if I'm trying to just play like smart money, like that's where I'm betting.
Yeah. I mean, that's what I'm thinking right now, but we're probably going to be like thrown on our head to be like, oh man, who's this new guy coming up?
Oh yeah,
Again, we don't know who's
who's
over
this
there in
new
Europe.
coach from middle of
Yeah.
Kansas? I don't know.
Yeah. Like who knows? But I mean, right now, I think Gabby and Kristoff are just trying to have fun and they're just palling around with Laura and doing some Krypton stuff. So I don't think anything's bad there. It's definitely going to keep her fit.
Hmm. Yeah, and it looks like Christoph likes to lift heavy weights too. So Ben's
He's
right
a
in that
big
wheelhouse.
guy.
So he's
He's
yeah.
a big, tall guy.
Yes. Yeah. And so I think he might be sticking. I like the Krypton idea because, I mean, they lift pretty heavy. They lift a good amount. Like they lift some heavy ass weight. So
Yeah. And I think Ben's good for her because, to say like Ben loves doing the odd stuff. Like he always posts being like, yo, I love doing legless row climbs from the seated position and doing a bunch of strict pull ups, strict pulling. So, that's going to be great for Gabby too.
yeah, agreed. Another person. So we have Emma Lawson that went to Nashville to hang out with the Proven team. Do you think that she might be going over there at all, or?
Who was her coach? Was she doing DECA when she was living in Canada? Like I like
No,
his
she
like
just has a coach. I think it's been her same coach like for years, like from the gym she started at. Her and Jack.
oh okay. Maybe she's just like putting out the feelers.
Yeah, my personal experience, like, well, listening to the Savant podcast when they were talking about that, my thing is like she's done really well this year, and I think like I don't know, I think maybe another year with that coach because she's still got room to grow, and she's gone from you know just starting out to being in first place at a couple times during the CrossFit Games, so.
But is it a Mallory O'Brien effect where it's like, okay, I'm just gonna go work with like Matt Frazier and then like leaves her like left James and it's just like, hey, I appreciate everything you did. Peace out, my guy. And hey, Shane, like it, and then it's gonna be the Emma Lawson versus Mal O'Brien show. Like, would be cool. Like, you can't not say that that's a cool storyline.
Mhm.
That
Right.
both goats are now coaching like the female athletes of the future, and you're like, there's some things, but it's also like, is Tia and Shane moving back to Australia permanently because they're opening up a gym?
Right. I don't
So
know.
like,
There's been some rumors that they're still going to keep their house in Nashville and then just go back and forth. But at
oh,
least Proven has a camp there. I mean, they have great coaches. I mean, even though Shane is kind of just the mastermind, it doesn't mean that the other coaches don't, chip in every now and then.
yeah.
And that gym, CrossFit East Nashville, is amazing. If you
Really?
haven't been there, it is
I've seen
huge.
pictures.
Oh,
It
it
looks
looks
massive, and I've heard
Oh,
cool things.
so I was in Nashville with my wife just for like a weekend trip, and I was like, okay, I want to go to a gym and work out. And so I was like, all right, I was looking around and I saw CrossFit East Nashville, and I was like, okay, so I drove there and I signed up like online. I drove there and I'm like, they had this like airsoft like competition in like the little factory out place that they have it. And so I was like, where's CrossFit East Nashville? They're like, go down this hallway and when you hear the music, take a right. And I'm like, okay. So I literally walk in and it is literally the size of like two football. It's like the size of a football field, just ginormous. It's like two rigs on both sides. They have like AstroTurf on the right hand side, and then all in the back they had like the weightlifting competition, like floors and stuff. And now since Proven's like been there, they actually made that the rigs in the back part. But that place is so big, so big. And even the guy that owns the gym is like, you came to the right place. If you really want to, push yourself and be competitive, this is the place to be. And they have some studs. They have some studs there that aren't
Yeah.
even working for Proven. So
No, I'm sure they have some really good affiliate athletes. Like it looks like a top tier facility.
yeah, it is. And like they have so much equipment too. So much. It's insane. Like my mouth just dropped when I walked in there.
Yeah. Like I like it looks great. Like that's one of those places like you want like if you're traveling like you want to go drop into.
Hmm.
It's
Yeah.
kind of like 12 labors.
Yeah, and it's pretty cool. You could actually see the Tennessee Titans Stadium like in the backdrop too, so which is pretty cool.
Let's go sports.
But
I don't know why we are inviting me to these things.
it's all good. We just need some more talking heads, pretty much.
Yeah,
So
like it's like oh man. Speaking of which, Ryan McKay always wants to jump in.
okay, all right, all right,
Gosh, should totally jump in.
yeah, okay, all right. And so do you think like Emma's gonna stay down in Nashville for a while, or like?
I mean, I don't know. Like I wouldn't be surprised if she goes. I wouldn't be surprised if she stays with her coach. I wouldn't be surprised if they do like this like half and half thing. That's what Amanda did for the longest time before moving the Comptrain. So I don't know. I don't see Emma leaving, but that's just me.
Okay. So I have one
Money
last.
talks.
Yes, of course.
Money
Money
talks.
always talks. And now is Emma a Noble athlete now?
Yes.
Yeah, because Noble's chucking everything. Like, hey, here's a duffel bag that looks like shit and full of money. Here you go. That's. Oh, I'm sorry. Was I not supposed to say something bad about Noble?
No, you can say whatever you want.
Exactly.
I would die for a duffel bag of their clothes again. So
Yeah, it's free gym equipment, pretty much. Free gym
Yeah.
clothes.
Yeah.
So, but so I have a kind of a person that we talked about earlier, that I like. She was on the Savon podcast. Weird. It's so weird. Like a lot of females are just like leaving and switching, possibly. And
Transitioning? Wait, nope. Sorry, didn't say that.
no, can't
Didn't
say that.
Didn't
say that.
say that.
Can't say that.
so what are your thoughts on Haley Adams possibly leaving? Like this is just we don't even know yet, so we're just throwing it out there.
Yes.
Haley Adams leaving Mayhem to maybe go to someplace else.
Put it out there. Just let it ripple in the water and see what happens. I feel like no, this is like one of those things. Like I've been like, I think she has earned a chance to change. Like I don't know, I don't know what Tasia's role or if she still has a role there or what she's doing now specifically. I believe she's left, but like I feel like she needs to like just change a pace. Like she didn't do like she took 11th at the games. Was it 11th or 9th?
Ninth.
I don't even know.
I think it was
And
ninth.
like and it's like again like my Dan Bailey take of the female division holds, so I can run that back for an entire year. But like I think she needs like just a person that's gonna personalize every single portion for her and like what she needs. Like she is working on her strength. That's probably one of her biggest things. It's not like she didn't like she did really well. Like she's got a great like build and just like outside of like the shuttle to overhead, which was a dumpster fire for a bunch of people. Um, strict dips on the Elizabeth elevated. Then it was echo press, which arguably like you could just hold the standards if you were watching it. Her worst finish was literally a sandbag clean. Like sorry, like Haley, I wouldn't have pegged you to be very high in that event to begin with. Like just calling it what it is, and it's like after that it was just like too tough. Like Sunday was tough because it was a heavy day. Like Sunday was a very heavy day, and it's like it's all strength based.
Yeah. And it's one of those things where I think if she went to someone that actually tailored her program to her, like she has someone saying like, "Hey, you're going to do your strength first. It's like you were going to have to take a step back or at least work with us." Whereas at Mayhem, she has freedom. And I don't necessarily think that's good for her. I think to just like be confident and being a top 10 games athlete, yes, it was good for her. But now I think she does need more direction than being like, okay, you have this entire Mayhem program, or you can modify it however you want, things like that. So I think that would be the best move for her anyway. But I I still have no clue whether or not she's leaving. I mean, she lost Tasia, which was, a big support system there, but she still has a huge support system there. So
Here we go, Kenzie Riley from Misfit Athletics.
that'd be dope.
I'm just stoking this fire. Like, might as well. Like, let's see if we could run that one. That would be fun.
Yeah, she'd be closer to home.
Yep.
Mhm.
They know each other already.
They have an okay relationship. Like, perhaps stoke these fires. I'm just gonna keep chucking hot coals into things that don't need to be chucked.
Yeah. But for Haley, like with the strength, like obviously strength is an issue, kind of an issue, but like, but like
No, just call it what it is. Call it what it is. Just
Okay,
call it
it's-
what it is. A
It is
deficiency.
an issue. Strength
Okay.
is her weakness.
Okay,
You're
it's
trying
an
to be
issue.
really nice. Like, let's just
I know.
call
Listen,
a spade a spade.
listen, it's my podcast, so I got to be nice to everybody because I want to get some people on my podcast. But so obviously strength is an issue. How long do you think it would take her to get the strength up to like where some of these other elite athletes are?
So this is the age old question: is like, does she need to have like a Tia Claire Toomey style weightlifting like bias, like pretty like there, or could she move 10% in like the right direction and be fine? Because probably she can probably take. She doesn't need like you got to shore it up. I don't think there's ever gonna be turning it into like the biggest strength in the world because it's like Brooke Wells or like people that just like or Katrin who struggled with muscle ups for years but like still are super strong. Like those things help. It's you got like you're going to lose something, but it's like she's so good.
Mhm.
Like
Yeah, like she just needs to make sure that it's not a bottom 10 finish. If she can make it, if she can go up and like be like middle-ish of the pack, at least maybe like top 20,
Yep.
that's golden. That's like podium material right there. I don't think she needs to be the strongest in the sport. She just needs to make sure that she doesn't get a bottom finish.
yeah, like she like just looking at it, like if she just shored that up and like never took any, she'd definitely be in the top 5 probably if she shored that up, like and just moved everything to nothing less than a top 20 finish. Like,
Yeah, I mean,
think
even look at Danielle Brandon. Like she's not the strongest athlete out there.
no,
and
she showed a lot of athlete.
Oh, yeah.
Danielle showed a lot of athlete IQ, especially on Elizabeth Elevated, because I remember watching her distinctly during that event, and she purposely slowed down her rounds of 21 and her rounds of 15 before she started like really like getting through those dips, and the people that really went out fast are the ones that died.
Yeah. But I mean, I do think Haley does have a good head on her shoulders and knows herself. So,
I mean, she should. She's been in the game for quite a while and being at an elite level, so she knows what she needs to do.
I feel like she's almost on like 10 years, and it's like including your teen divisions, and you're just like, oh,
Yeah. I mean, what, like our first games, like as a teenager was like 2016, maybe?
Yeah.
Um, yeah, like that's nuts.
Mm-hmm. Crazy, crazy. So I mean, we'll see. You know, is Tasia coaching someplace else right now, or is she like I don't I know she's in, I don't is she married right now too?
She just got engaged.
Okay.
So, I mean, I think she's just going down her own new path. So,
Yeah, so this year was 7, so Haley would be at 8. But like Tasia, for instance, it's like good for her. She's like wants to leave small town Cookville, blah 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 blah. Good for her. Like it's just kind of like you can't expect everybody not to like move on or like. And I feel like that's probably the biggest theme of the podcast is like people like we're in the season of change. That's it.
Season of
yeah.
change. Yeah. So I actually know I don't know I've seen Tasia before. So I was at a CrossFit gym up in Salem, New Hampshire, when and so she went to UNH, University of New Hampshire. So she was actually training at the gym I went to for like a couple months, and I was like watching her work out. And this is before she even made it to the games. She was like number one in New Hampshire for like I think it was like 2 years in a row before she went to the games, and this was like the year before she went to the games. And I was just like watching her work out, and I was like holy shit, this girl can move. Like she's unreal. It was unreal just to see like how quick she was compared to like everyone else at the gym. It was just unreal. And even like if there was another guy there named Chase Smith,
Mhm.
he was one of the guys that tore his pectoral muscles during the dip workout during the regionals events, and
Dumbbell snatch dip
he
workout.
yeah.
R.I.P.
So he was the one that was right next to Matt Fraser, and he did the dip, and like that's when he like got his like tear. But those two together, like they would work out, were just absolute savages at that gym. And then the CrossFit gym was like CrossFit free, and
Mhm.
so they had some good guys there. But they've been to regionals a bunch of times as a team, but like nothing individual except for like Tasia and Chase. But yeah, it was unreal. Just watching those guys, like elite level guys, for like the first time, like first year doing CrossFit, and I'm like, oh my
Well, what are
god,
they doing? What like
yeah,
how do you graduate to that?
yeah. I was like, I want to be like that, but oh wait, no wait, I'm 35, so I'm actually no, I was like 33, and I'm like, yeah, that's not gonna happen anytime soon.
I
I
don't got
like,
it.
I miss my prime, shit. So
It's like let me just lift.
yeah, so with the like the whole off season going on, I know Rogue's coming in a couple weeks, so did they finalize the list for everybody going there? And
I
also, what do you expect for like some of the events that week?
so is Bridges programming again? Is that essentially what's going on? Like I'm is the assumption, right?
I actually have no clue.
Okay. I would assume Dave is. Dave, I have a
Dave-
sneaking suspicion. I'm throwing this one. Just throw this one. Cut this clip. It is Dave Castro's program, the Rogue Invitational this year. Everybody who didn't do well at the CrossFit Games, buckle up because you're about to get militaried back like the old CrossFit Games 2021 and before. Like that's what's coming back
No, that'd be awesome. I think
Yeah,
it'd be awesome to see Dave come and program.
because
I
they're
don't
going to
think,
drop it. Like that's the thing. Like if they drop that 2 weeks before, people are going to lose their ever loving minds.
yeah. I mean, I like it like the event was so cool last year. I really hope.
They do a great job programming it. I think it was Josh last year. Like from what like I I believe it was.
No, I think it was. But it was like I just like it should be like one of those events where people like go to Austin to see or Round Rock and
It's
see it.
not Austin. Let's make this very clear for the
It
people
is
at home. It
not
says
Austin.
Austin, Texas.
It's not
But
Austin,
let us
Texas.
tell you, you are not, and we repeat, not actually in Austin, Texas.
That was a
We're in
very expensive Uber drive.
every day.
Every
twice.
day. So I mean, it was so fun, but I think could have been more packed there. I mean, granted, like I mean, I had a seat, so they definitely kicked you out if you weren't in your seat. But it was so cool, and I'm hoping this draws more attention. And like, if Dave,
I just
is-
want to know if people are getting paid in Bitcoin this year because that's really taking a dive.
we haven't seen that yet. I think they dropped the ball. I think Bitcoin got too big.
It's just more Bitcoins are now available for the winners.
Oh wait,
Yes.
no, I lied. I'm on the site right now. It's cash plus Bitcoin plus tickets.
Nice.
I just like it how they have the, like, first place, the money for them is almost comparable or even more than the actual CrossFit games. So like, what's the incentive other than being the supposedly called the fittest on earth, and you win some money compared to just concentrate all your efforts onto Rogue and get first place there and win more money and be a lot happier.
I think Pat Vellner talked about that. He said, when I'm done competing at the CrossFit Games, well, I'll just slightly peak later so I can go to a Rogue and a Dubai, win all the money, and then don't even care about the CrossFit Games. I think it's smart.
That's what Pat does with Wadapalooza.
I mean,
like, he knows it's not there. He didn't. Nope. He's like, I peak for January in Miami.
perfect.
Known fact. It's kind of like Chandler, Noah, and Travis. They're like, we got this. Like, we are the team guys every year.
Yeah, I do like how the baseball team for like no I think Nolan Ryan's the general manager or like the head of operations over there for the baseball.
The Dell Diamond.
Yeah, the baseball field. So I like how they actually use the baseball field actually as a an event, which is pretty cool, because then you have like other people that don't really know the sport will come to watch it and be like, oh, okay, there's like strongman stuff and CrossFit stuff, so maybe I can get into this and just watch it, or maybe join a box or something like that.
Yeah, and that's the good part. Except if you're a photographer and you got to bring like your like 500 like lens, and you're just like, well, and you look like you're calling in artillery strikes from Call of Duty the whole time in your seat.
I know, just
That's
like
a problem.
sitting in the stands, just like trying to blend in, basically.
Yeah.
Didn't they have those guys that come out of the dugouts too, like the athletes?
Yeah, which they utilize the stadium the best way possible. Like, they do a very good job. Like, when I was there last year, 10 out of 10, great time. Definitely go. Like, you're not going to be like having like, they do everything to make sure like you're not just bored, like, because you're like, oh, it's just 2 heats of men, 2 heats of female, and it's over. It's like, no, they got the strongman stuff. They try to make sure there's a bunch of interactive stuff to do out like next to the stadium when you're not in your seats, and like, it's a very like, you like, and then you're in Austin. Like, yeah, it's really Round Rock. Like, we're not gonna like not hide that, but it's like you can drive into Austin and do more stuff. Like, it's also Halloween weekend. I did maybe partake in going out all of the nights I was there last year and had a good time.
Yeah. So what do you think are some of the events that might happen? Do you think more like strongman style stuff, since we had like the Capitol at the games, or?
Well, they had that jerry can event, and I think that probably inspired Boz last year, because it was like the rope climb, jerry cans up the hill and back down.
They also had the sandbag where they put it on the stand, like
the pedestal
Olympic
after the snatches,
event.
like the speed snatch sandbag ladder.
Yeah, that was cool.
They're probably gonna run that one back, and I bet you they do it early.
No,
That was a great event to watch.
dude, that was nuts. I mean, that's how like Annie didn't win, because she just flubbed, and it's like, it was so exciting. So I really hope they run like that or something similar. I think they're gonna bring back the hill thing.
Yep, they
Yeah.
have to. Like,
They have to.
They got to. But it's hard. Like, they're gonna have like Zeus, so there's probably gonna be a rope climb. Like, it's gonna be like, it's hard to like guess the programming when the qualifier workouts were egregiously terrible.
I mean, yeah, and the leaderboard still changes. I mean, it hasn't changed like yet today, because I didn't look. I mean, I looked at it like not too like long ago. I think I looked at it yesterday. But I don't know if I don't think it's finalized yet.
They haven't, like, from what I've seen, is like, it's not like, I haven't seen anywhere else that's reported it. Like, I could probably text Chandler and ask him, like, so you like really qualified? He's like, well, no, Chandler did post about it. He's like, no, I qualified.
Because he was in
So,
first
like,
place, so.
Yeah, well, that
Yeah.
helps. So let the guy talk. I'm calling it now. He's gonna podium.
So
Okay. All right, I like that. So speaking about competition, so Wadapalooza has a new schedule out, which is very interesting.
Huge fan.
So I guess the first is it like Thursday, Friday, or just like the individuals?
Thursday, Fridays, Indy. Teams are now Saturday, Sunday.
And the only reason why they did that was because some individual like maybe have some individual people go to teams and work out there
Yes.
too?
It drives more people. So, like, I think this is the best thing ever. So you don't have to pick anymore. And I think it's going to be able to flow and facilitate some of the, like, the biggest issue was always turnover of the different like setups and the stages and having those workouts go on. Now, I feel like you're asking the athletes potentially to do more because if you do 2 days of indie and 2 days a team, but you're also like you can win more money. Like it's trying to give the like trying to put more money in the pockets of the athletes, which I think is great. And they're still having the like regular like other like I don't even know. Like I don't want to call them Joe Schmoes. Like it's like the us's of the world, like the actual real athletes. So like can compete over the 4 days, but it's just like I can see like I don't see this as a negative, and I'm excited to hear the other side of this.
So
Okay.
hold on real quick. So there was a poll. So Clydesdale Media did a poll on what people thought was this a good idea, and it was a resounding. It was just like it was like majority of people said no, and
Those people are wrong.
well, there were mainly athletes on there too. So
I mean, okay, this is where it comes from me, who, was in the elite team division last year.
And BD.
I mean,
sitting
Like,
at home.
what a flex. Just so we're clear to open up. First of all, as an elite team member last year.
yes. I mean, it knocks out people that are trying to make elite. And not gonna lie, Wadapalooza does a terrible job of treating any of their competitors well, except
Facts.
for the elite. As a given fact, and there have been so many people, including myself, saying I'm not going to participate in Wadapalooza if I don't qualify in the elite division. So you're knocking out a significant portion of people who even want to try at the qualifier. Then, I mean, people don't want to just like kill themselves for 2 weeks and then be like, wow, I have 2 days to compete. And who knows? I mean, Wadapalooza in the past, you just do 2 workouts each day because, I mean, you have the rest of the event. And this Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday schedule only is for the elites. The other, like, RX gets to compete for 3 days. So, like, what if you qualify for RX Indy or Elite Indy and you're like, wow, they get to still compete, but I'm done? I don't know. I don't like it just because it limits the amount of people who can actually compete at an elite level and make a name for themselves. So that's my take.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of it because I like how it kind of like I like how like last year it was like especially for like a person that was sitting at home watching it like online. I like how it staggered everything, and then like they had like elites, elite men, elite women, and then teams, and then like later on it went like elite men, elite women, teams, like just kind of that like that whole area. So I get to see like all these athletes all at once instead of just the individual, and that's it. And that's like probably like 1 or 2 events, like actually maybe 3 events per day. And that's it. And then like you don't see anything else. And then you have teams on the weekend. So for a person that's sitting at home watching it, it's like, you have so many gaps of, just spaced out to watch all these events. I don't think I'm not a big fan of it. So that's just my take on it. As a person that sits at home and just drinks a beer and just complains like, "Oh, that was awful form."
I think it's awesome for the top in the sport. Like Xander said, you can win more prize money.
It's hurting the bubble athletes. Let's call it what it is. You're hurting the bubble athletes, right?
Yeah.
The people that are like really on the cusp. It's like cool. So if you're just barely sneaking into elite,
right?
You're really just there for 2 days. Like it sucks. Like if you're just not getting the experience that you wanted and earned, totally understandable. But you all like I have to assume, right? You're doing 3 workouts a day if you're elite.
I don't know, man.
If they only do 2 and they have 4 scores and that's how you decide this shit, people are gonna lose their ever loving minds.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm trying not to swear.
Yeah. No, I mean, no, they'll probably have 3 and 3. And so at least it is 6. But yeah. I mean, it's just different. Maybe we'll see it and be like, oh, that was cool. And that's just because, instead of just having like a handful of elite individuals and a handful of elite teams, like our elite people going team, now you just have everybody. And you get to see that all weekend long and seeing if, can 3 individuals get together and be a team rather than people that have already been on a
Jason
team.
Hopper and his whoever gives a shit team is not winning. I'm calling it now. Nobody cares. Nobody cares.
So do you think they might be recording some of the adaptive athlete workouts as well as like the Joe Schmoes, like the RX, like not like their intermediate divisions?
Yeah.
So they might be recording those guys to fill in the gaps from just having people just do the 2 days.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what they typically do anyway.
Well, to be honest with you, like I haven't seen like anything online for like on their website or like live streams of any like adaptive athlete workouts or any like intermediate. Cause I mean, but granted, like I might have missed.
Go do wheel wad games. Go do wheel wad games. We are very pro wheel wad games here on the Type 1 Lifting Touch and Go gang podcast team sports. Go.
I mean, if you want to, like that one is such a cool.
Wheel wad does a phenomenal job. I am not here to not like hype them up because I think adaptives need more love, and I think masters need more age group athletes, teens and masters, plus the adaptives need more love because it's more people for the sport. And like, if you're really trying to get the like Wadapalooza, great. If you're trying to get the Miami experience, if you want to have like a truly understanding like of what the needs are of the neuromuscular, lower leg adaptives, like upper body extremity, all those kinds of things, wheel wad. Go do wheel wad.
Yeah, but the only problem is with like the masters athletes not getting any love. Like there's been multiple studies of saying like those click rates through like emails and stuff like that when it comes to like age group qualifiers or anything age group is like seriously dramatic, like drop compared to the elites division. And I understand like who wants to watch age athletes except for their families to watch them work out. It looked like lesser weight compared to like the elite athletes who are like throwing around like 315, 335, like it's like nothing for the male side, I even Nicky Ranker, I had him on the show and I was like, well, why don't you think masters divisions like don't get the love? And there's like, yeah, people don't want to see.
It doesn't bring money. I'm like, it's an economics thing. Like,
yeah. So, yeah, I mean, I would love to have the masters athletes and age group qualifiers get a little more love, but I don't think it's going to happen.
Never gonna. I'm going to keep beating this drum as loud as I can by like me and like 3 other people. And it's probably their moms. So it's fine.
No, I'm glad that there's other competitions coming up that actually appreciate them, like Legends, like the Pit Teen Throwdown, like Wheel Wad. Like there are competitions out there that are supporting them. But like, I wouldn't be surprised in the future, like, these bigger competitions go like different ways, or, they're not going to get the same love because they're not bringing in the money. They do in qualifiers, like the Open, like, I mean, a significant portion are the masters athletes, but beyond that, I mean, you're not going to get, viewership like you would for the elites.
Yeah, I agree. So we're getting close to the end, so it's final thoughts time. So,
oh no,
Xander, were you going to go first?
I am just here to make sure that I'm excited to see how the Ultimate Hawaiian Trail Run goes this weekend. I know it's like, I feel like it's finally like 2020 obviously was what it was. Last year was still like, there was probably a couple of restrictions. Like, I think this one's probably the first real one back, just to hear about how that goes. And it'll be fun to hear on the next group when we have our 4th person back. And then also excited to see how Wadapalooza qualifiers go for the boy, Sam Coltharp. Throwing that out there. So he can do his first elite division with 2 surgically repaired anatomical android knees.
Hannah?
Again, I think we said this before, but we're in a season of change, and I'm just excited to see, what comes down the pipeline and what we get to talk about in a couple weeks, because, we'll be deep in the Wadapalooza qualifiers. Maybe we get a, verified rogue leaderboard. Maybe people show their colors of where they're going and what their future plans are. So, I mean, there's a lot more in store. That's for sure.
Yeah. So my final thought, I'm excited for off season of where some of these athletes are moving to and where they're going to, because I mean, there might be some like random places that they're going. You're like, we never even thought of like these people going there.
Vancouver, British Columbia. Come on down.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
what's there?
And we also forgot about the lovebirds now. Justin Medeiros
Oh yeah,
Oh, yeah, and Ellie
what's her
Turner.
name?
and Ellie Turner.
Totally
Yeah,
thought it was an Emma. My bad.
It's okay. It's okay.
I had a really
The world won't shame you.
yeah. But love is in the air. No, I'm just kidding. But no, I'm excited for all the change and stuff like that, because obviously like we're still like Xander said, we're like kind of like in the adolescent phase of this space. So I'm looking forward to see what's coming up, and I'm looking for our next talk with Vic and about his little epic adventure with the Hawaiian Trail Run. That's one of my bucket lists of one things I want to do, and I might be getting another fern too. So between 2 ferns.
Let's
no,
go.
you have to do 3. Like if Zach has 2, you have to have 3. So technically, we got to be between. Like you have to be
Between 3 ferns.
triangulated between 3 ferns. is
Okay,
how the name
I'll
of
work.
it is.
I'll work in that. I got very limited space back
The
here.
Bermuda
So
Triangle of Ferns, is that also a good? That's on the list.
We'll work.
we'll work on it. We'll work
Yeah.
on it.
We'll figure it out.
All right, guys. Well, thank you guys for coming on, and we out.